Good evening from Mexico. So it's a little later than I expected to upload this video, but I'm not gonna lie, it took me a minute to figure everything out because I had to voice over it. So it is a little bit long, but it's just a sneak peek into what it's like to shop at bigger chains down here in Mexico. We do have to drive a little far, but at the end of it, it took everything that I had not to buy the elephant statue. So if you stay to the end, you'll see it. But you guys can also follow me on TikTok at Loadita70 or Instagram at _Loadita70. Have a great night, guys, and I'll see you next video. Okay, guys, so today we went to a town that's about, well, it's more like a city. It's about an hour and a half away from our house. As you can see, we stopped at an OXXO to get some treats and a drink because it is kind of a long drive for the kids. My filming skills, FYI, are pretty terrible, but this will give you an idea of what it looks like to shop at major chains here in Mexico, at least where we are in Puebla. If you look, I'm about to grab my Vitaloy. I get the bigger one because why not? And it's inevitable that I end up sharing. So this is the Walmart. I'm walking to get like a little basket thing. So I walk over here, grab a little basket thing, and then I went over to look at car chargers because my phone always dies and I am trying to take video. And they have so many. You can see some of the pricing. Now remember, this is in pesos and not dollars. But as you can see, I had a hard time deciding, so I stood there for longer than I probably should have. So I apologize. Here's me like thinking about maybe that one, no, that one, no. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's just too many. Then I needed a new coffee cup, so I went over here. I found this cute avocado cup, so I had to get that because it's an avocado and it's adorable. Then I went over to the baby section because the baby needed a new sippy cup. So keep in mind that when I go to these places, I'm getting stuff that I typically can't find in our small little town or pretty close to us. So he is pretty particular about his sippy cups, and of course there's a million of them, and so I stood there for a minute trying to decide which one I was going to get, but you can see some of the prices in pesos. Again, I'm such a terrible video taker. This is walking through it. As you can see, there were quite a few people there, but Walmart's policy was one person per family. So we're walking into Sam's Club. At the door of each establishment, they're taking your temperature, they're spraying disinfectant stuff on your hands, and wiping off your cart. So now I'm walking through Sam's Club. As you can see, Sam's Club and Walmart pretty much look normal. Not a lot of differences, to be completely honest. They make little mini donuts in cinnamon sugar right there. They're pretty bomb. I had to come and get some laundry soap and some Suavitel. If you know what that is, it's fabric softener. So had to get some of those things. But yeah, as you can see, I mean, it's pretty normal except for all the products are based in Mexico. There's what I have in my cart. My husband actually went back in and got dog food. My kid and my husband also called over the ice cream guy so they could get some ice cream. As you can see, my son's trying to decide which ice cream and how many pesos he has so he can see how big he can get the ice cream. We're walking into what we call the American Mall that's in this town. Diego's telling you that we're going to McDonald's. I'm so new at this, guys. I'm still trying to get the hang of all of this video stuff. But as you can see, there weren't very many people in this mall. I mean, kind of a lot, but this is not a lot compared to what it normally looks like. And a lot of the stores are currently closed. So there are a lot of bigger names here. There's a Liverpool connected to it. And I found out today that the Liverpool you actually have to order online and you can't even go into it at all. They have it completely sealed off. You have to walk up to the door and you can pick up your order. But they have it completely sealed off for right now. So see, lots and lots of stores are closed, not letting people in. some of them are starting to open back up, but not a lot. So a lot of you ask about COVID down here. This will give you kind of an idea of what it's like, you know, dealing with COVID in a bigger city in Puebla. So there's the closed Liverpool. I was pretty disappointed in that because I wanted to look for a Father's Day gift, but nonetheless, we were trying to just kind of get in and out. So we came in here because they have a food court, and that's where you can go to the McDonald's. Also, the movie theater is closed, which makes us really sad because sometimes we like to see movies. But here we are at McDonald's. So we get to do this once a month, which means that we get fast food once a month. McDonald's, there's not a lot of places open. This usually has a bunch of tables. Here's me complaining because it's hot in masks, and we're waiting for our food. And then here's the drive through the town that we go through. So I'll let you guys get a feel for that. Those top bus is what we call them. They're everywhere. So you really have to be careful of those. My husband has hit those before, not noticing, forgetting that they're there, things like that. We take back roads to the Walmart and Sam's Club. They're all right next to each other, but we take back roads because you can avoid traffic, and there's still a lot of traffic. And where we were is actually really hot compared to where we live. So we were all dying at this point in the car because it doesn't have air conditioning. So when you ask me if I miss air conditioning, I do when I'm in my car and we go anywhere outside of where we live, because where we live is not very hot, but when you get to these bigger cities, it kind of is. That girl has an umbrella, which is a really good idea, and I never thought of that. So yeah. Ooh. So this is just a little bit of the drive. You can see that they paint stuff on the walls, if you guys can see that, when they're getting ready for elections and things like that. I've also seen announcements for like concerts and festivals and things like that, all painted on walls. So yeah, this is a bit of an insight of what it looks like. A lot of motorcycles. The streets are pretty narrow, so it always freaks me out. It always feels like my husband is just weaving in and out everywhere. I like to drive where we live, but I'm not a huge fan of driving in cities at all. It's if you've ever driven in Mexico, I think Mexico City is notorious for being probably the scariest place to drive. At least I think. I don't think I could ever drive in Mexico City, but even these bigger cities in Puebla make me a little nervous, so I usually don't drive through them. Typically, my husband drives. But as you can see, there's like lots of little tiendas, everybody's houses. The other thing about Mexico is that there's usually walls up around your yard and your house. And so when you're in the States, you're used to being able to see into people's yards and things like that. So you can't usually do that in Mexico. See, like they're all walls and big gates and things like that. And I always try to get a sneak peek when somebody's door or gate is open, because the insides of them are just stunning. Here's us getting back on more of a main road. Still not a ton of traffic here, but I love this part of the drive because of all the trees. I'm a big fan of trees, as you can see. And you can go a little bit faster here.
Where's your car, baby?
And then when you come up to the stoplight, typically there are people that, will wash your windows. There wasn't one today. However, this guy was selling like fresh juice. So we didn't get any, but he had fresh fruit and juice. And so typically they'll sell those as you're waiting for stoplights. This is a market little place that we pass by. They're always selling little things for your houses, like planters. We also found this guy who has all of these like figure things, I guess, that go in your yard. There's an elephant and a unicorn.